Hey, how's it going? It's me. So listen, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the worst Academy Award wins ever. Now, keep in mind, what I'm saying here is that not that these Academy Award wins were bad, because they were good, but it's just that there were other ones that were more deserving. That's what I'm saying. And not all of them are nominations. Some of them weren't nominated, but should have won as well. And so I'm going to start my list off. It can be any category here. And so I'm going to say the movies that, or parts of movies that won and those that should have won. I'm going to say why those that won shouldn't have. Now, this first one is for 1968 Best Picture. This is for Oliver. Now, I have to be honest here, I haven't actually seen Oliver. And so you're probably wondering, how can I say this about Oliver if I haven't seen it? Because what didn't win that year was 2001: A Space Odyssey. And if you saw my first ever review, then you know that this is my favorite movie. And it did not win. That is the main reason, really. I haven't seen Oliver. I'll probably watch it sometime just to say why it shouldn't have won. Whatever happens, I'm almost certain that I won't like this more than 2001: A Space Odyssey. I won't. So, that's the first one. Next one is for 2010, and this is Best Actor, which went to Colin Firth for The King's Speech. Haven't seen The King's Speech, being honest again. But I checked through a bunch of the trailers and a few clips, and I could see why Colin Firth won the Oscar that year. However, there is a different performance which I think was a lot more deserving. Now, I'm not talking about Jesse Eisenberg for The Social Network. That was a really good performance, but it wasn't as good as Colin Firth's. Same with Jeff Daniels for Jeff Bridges for True Grit. Jeff Daniels hasn't won anything, but still, the person who should have won that year was James Franco for 127 Hours. I mean, this is just one of the best performances I've ever seen, because he's funny and he's serious almost at the same time. It's just so incredible how he switches between the two and mixes them together so well. He's really believable, really likable. It's one of the best performances I've ever seen, and he should have won that Oscar. They probably just didn't give it to him because Colin Firth's performance was more Oscar serviceable, I'd say, because Oscars are always into those sort of really over-the-top performances that are just basically begging for an Oscar, and they don't really deserve it as much, because James Franco gave a better performance. He probably wasn't even going for an Oscar in that movie. You'll know that if you see his other movies. So it's just so great that he was able to give a great performance that wasn't Oscar bait, which basically was Colin Firth. He's pretty over the top in the trailer. Okay, next. For 2004 Best Actress, Hilary Swank won for $1 Million Baby. Now, I need to be really honest right here. Hilary Swank was great in $1 Million Baby. I thought she gave a great performance in that movie, and if it would have been a different year and somebody else wouldn't have been nominated, she should have won. But, however, the difference is that there was somebody else nominated who was a lot more worthy, and that was Kate Winslet for Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. This was just an incredible performance. I mean, Kate Winslet, she's a British actress, and when I saw Titanic before, I thought that she kind of had trouble with her accent in that movie, and I could kind of tell that she was British at some time, and not American, or even if she was trying to be, whatever, the accent wasn't that good there. But here, she is full-on American. I never felt like she was British or any other kind of background. She was just great in this movie. She outshined Jim Carrey in one of his best performances. She was deserved of that Oscar a lot more than the reader. Ugh. So yeah, she should have won the Oscar for this movie. Even though Hilary Swank was really good, she wasn't as good. Okay, next, for 1982, Best Visual Effects, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Now, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, it does have some good special effects. I mean, those scenes where they fly through the air on their bikes and that end with the spaceship and all, those are all pretty good effects. However, there is a big but because the movie that didn't win that year that should have won was Blade Runner. Because Blade Runner created an entire world out of its visual effects. And keep in mind, they didn't have that much CGI, so this movie didn't use any of it. The entire movie was with real models and real cityscape and all that. And while the director's cuts are better, it's still the original still has great visual effects, and they never changed the effects in the director's cut. So obviously, it should have won. Those effects are like an entire city, uh, whereas E.T.'s effects are like maybe at most a town, and that's at most. Blade Runner is at least a city, and at most an entire world, all of the Earth, the future, all of that. It should have won that Oscar. It was way more deserving. Okay, and for my final one for the worst Best Picture awards is 1997 Best Original Song for Titanic. You know, My Heart Will Go On. Now, that's a pretty good song. I mean, I can listen to it. I mean, I'm not a big fan of that sort of music, but you can listen to it no matter what kind of fan you are. If you are a fan of that stuff, then you'll love it. But whatever kind of a fan you are, there is another song that released that year that actually wasn't nominated, but was a lot more deserving of that Oscar. And that movie was Men in Black, and its original song, which was the title Men in Black. Now that song was just so great because it was catchy, it was energetic, some great vocals by Will Smith. Re- I, uh, I really liked listening to that song and watching the music video. I never got bored by the song, and it really mashes into the movie. And it's some really great lyrics, some great rapping. It's a lot more deserving than Titanic's song, which just felt kind of generic. I mean, that's the thing. The Oscars always go for this sort of generic stuff. It's a lot of bull. I don't like swearing, okay? So, yeah, that's the worst Best Picture. No, sorry, five worst Oscars that were given to movies, so worst Academy Awards for movies, and none of them are really bad because they're they are good. It's just there are other ones that were better. And I'm not one of those guys who'll say over those movies that didn't even deserve to come close to winning. Like people might say the movie Crash and that sort of stuff. But I haven't seen those movies, and I can't really say it if I haven't seen them. Yes, I know I did do two parts here of movies I didn't see. However, those movies I do have a clear mind of. And besides, come on, the one of the best performances of all time, one of the best movies of all time. I just have to put that on. Sorry. So yeah, that's what I think about the worst Academy Awards ever given. And so, if you like this video and if you've seen my other videos, please subscribe and comment on what you think of my choices. And I'll be putting up a movie soon. As soon as I can get it up, I'll have it up. I can promise you that. And I'll have more reviews soon. So look forward to that, and please subscribe. And of course, as always, you don't have to go while you got Timo.